Hey, what's good? It's Andrew from travelingguitarist.com. Today I'm talking to you guys about the toxicity of guitar strings, or I guess the alleged toxicity of guitar strings. This is a kind of an interesting topic because I started doing more and more research on it, and I discovered that there actually are some people out there who will react adversely to the metals that guitar strings are made out of. So, for instance, some people they have an allergy to nickel, and because most electric guitar strings are wrapped in nickel, or they're nickel plated or nickel wound as they call it, they might actually have an allergic reaction to that. And I was reading one study where it said that this rich kid's parents was able to get like gold wound strings instead of nickel plated strings. So I found that kind of interesting. But I think some people ask this question because of the heavy metal content. They ask, like, are guitar strings toxic? And the conclusion that I came to was essentially that, even though they are, like, guitar strings are made with heavy metals that could potentially be toxic, but the frequency and the rate at which that you have to play the instrument enough to actually experience the side effects or the poisonous effects of some of these metals, I think is like so intense. Like it's very high, like some of the people, and even like professional musicians who have their mouth up against like a brass mouthpiece all day. Like some of these people, like you have to be like 8 to 10 hours a day, like for years in order to get like dermatitis from this stuff. And even then, like not everyone gets that adverse reaction. It's just like a small proportion of people who are maybe sensitive to a certain metal, like nickel, as I said before. So in conclusion, like the chance of you having an adverse reaction to metal is like so small, it's so infinitesimal that it's kind of like, it's not even really worth thinking about, in my opinion. It's just another one of those like health scares, those potential health scares that like people like to drum up just to get views and ratings. Kind of like this one article from The Guardian, wherever it was. Yeah, right here. Yeah, this article from The Guardian, you can see it right here. It's like cosmetic, cell phones, guitar strings, where we find chemicals. Like, this is just an opinion article, but it's very new too. It's actually very recent. They're just, in my opinion, it's just like fear mongering. That's my opinion of this article. It's just like more fear mongering and more like, oh, everything is toxic, and go live out in a bunker because there might be some toxic elements, or you know what I mean? Like, go live in the woods. Everything is poisonous. Go live in the woods. Well, I'm not interested in living in the woods. I don't know about you, but yeah. So guitar strings I think are very very safe to people. Like, you're gonna be okay, man. But I think it's definitely worth checking this article out because I really dive in detail about guitar strings and the toxicity of them, or the alleged toxicity, purported toxicity. And there's all kinds of like cool studies out there about like musicians who, they play the instrument a lot, or there's all these like different conditions that instrumentalists have: fiddler's neck, cellist chest, guitar nipple, like all these like things, trumpeters, or excuse me, yeah, or even like some of the woods. Like some people will have like adverse reactions to the woods. Where is this part of it? Oh yeah, exotic woods, like rosewood. Like someone might have a reaction to the rosewood. But anyway, just like to put that in perspective, like the case of you like just being allergic to rosewood is like, it's like so small, like you can't live your life like this, like thinking that everything is toxic and you may be allergic to everything. Like sure, like there's studies and stuff that say like, hey, this one person had an issue with nickel or whatever, but it doesn't mean you will. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff and on Google Scholar particularly. Check out this one, this contact dermatitis. I'll put the link in the video description, and then you can see all the links to all the other surveys and studies that have been done on people who play instruments for a living, and particularly students. There's a really interesting study or a paper that talks about lead. It talks about how sometimes there can be lead in bronze. Which is but like the amount of lead that is in the bronze, it's like so small that it doesn't really matter, like anytime that you go outside and you interact with the world, there's probably a chance that you're interacting with a heavy metal of some kind, or even in your water, your drinking water. Like I'm sure there's like levels of heavy metals in your water. But anyway, in this study, yeah, he talks about, or what, I don't know if it's a study, I already said this, but seems to be from people who are very legit, PhDs and stuff. I don't know if they're just some like company that a guitar string maker hired to, like push something under the rug. I don't know. I can't verify the authenticity, but it looks very legit. It looks like a legit company did this stuff. But they actually got rid of all the names. Like they got rid of all the manufacturer's name in this paper. But yeah, it just talks about how, there's not enough lead in the strings and to actually like hurt anybody. And, if you could get hurt by it, you need to lick your guitar strings on a regular basis in order to actually experience the negative consequences of it. But yeah, that's why I included this picture too, like just like the ridiculousness of it. Like you're gonna have to lick your strings a lot in order to be messed up from touching the strings, But yeah, just kind of wrapping things up here. It's like, sure, maybe you're one of the unlucky people who will have like a minor allergic reaction to guitar strings, but for the most part, you'll probably be okay. Like most people are not going to have that kind of reaction to nickel-plated strings. But anyway, that's about it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe, and then I'll see you later. Okay.